Okay, so this is Swamp Thing issue 90 or something 89 issue 3, depending on how you want to number this. First things first, love that it's still got the original DC checklist in it. I don't think I was buying anything from DC at this current point in time because I'm looking at the issue numbers and they seem too early. Sandman I wasn't getting until later on. Legion 89 I wasn't getting until later on. Starman later on. So yeah, I think I'm probably a few months before because I believe Swamp Thing didn't go to Vertigo until 122, 123 or something like that, 121. So that's definitely when I started picking up Sandman and all the other stuff. So yeah, it's a few years ago, a few years afterwards. I thought this was literally like they had this issue with the book. They stopped it for a little while. They restarted as a Vertigo book. That was it. But obviously, there looks like there's 2 years worth of issues between this and then. Anyway, so Corrigan is there talking to Constantine about possibly performing the ritual again because apparently he's got trouble with the Justice League and they are not happy with the Spectre at the point in time. Swamp Thing has travelled back in time, and this is the weird thing, is that this is pre the Big Bang and such. This is the Source Wall, apparently, which again is ironic because the original Source Wall I've ever seen has been like, like all them new gods and stuff kind of stuck in it on the edge of the universe. This is literally just a flat wall in the middle of the universe with Source written on it, which is quite bizarre. So yeah, so he basically explains what happens and how he needs to get back to Abby, and he says, "Yep, there is a way of doing it, but it's a long, difficult route to do so." Meanwhile, in Hell, Arcane is plotting to try and get out again, and hopefully wreak havoc upon obviously his relations. Constantine is there talking to Arcane's sister. And there is definitely, I know, I can't remember if it's in this conversation or in the previous conversation, there's definitely a mention of Matthew being the Raven from Sandman, which is really nice. And it turns out that they need to look through all of this junk that is apparently in Arcane's collection, and the Amber scepter thing that we saw originally is, again, key to it all. Then we get, I don't quite know what this is for, we get a weird flash to Apocalypse and Darkseid and about the mother box and the Mobius chair and all this kind of stuff, which I think he did mention he encountered the Mobius chair. And there's a stalemate between Chaos and Thingy. And anyway, so Swamp Thing basically goes back in time and kind of basically reforms. He ends up as a plant on the side of a mountain, but that's all he thinks he is. He just thinks he's a plant, nothing else. And it isn't until he grows himself an eye, effectively, to kind of gaze upon what's below him, that he realises, he's a little bit more than just a plant. And it turns out this is where Anthro the Cave Boy comes in. So this is the young Anthro. We saw we mentioned the old Anthro last time. So again, it's kind of this continuity, time loopy kind of thing going on, which I think is really, really nice because obviously they've thought about how this all fits together. Pretty cool. And Anthro is attacked by these monsters, and Swamp Thing is trying, and he sees this girl who's talk to Anthro, and he recognises her as someone who looks like Abby. And as they're being attacked by these monster thingies, they attempt to burn them and all this kind of stuff. And Swamp Thing basically reinvigorates himself to help out. Unfortunately, it doesn't do him very well. He's not up to it. He's lost control of all his functions because he's been a plant for too long. And as he weeps out the amber that becomes the kind of amulet and the talisman, all this kind of stuff. So again, one continuous time loop. This is the thing that connects him to himself is something he created himself. Meanwhile, Abby and the others Abby's about to have the baby, and there's a knock at the door, and I think, oh God, thank God, it's Alex. Alec, he's come back again. But no, it's not. It's Arcane. Doing his best demony kind of thing. So yeah, all good stuff. Again, if it wasn't for that first issue in this miniseries, I honestly don't think that this would have been a problem. There's nothing in the rest of the other issues that seems to suggest that I would say is controversial. It's just that one issue that was a problem, and obviously that screwed up the entire storyline because without that one issue, you couldn't do the rest of it. So, it's almost was it worth doing that one issue and not telling the rest of it? I don't know. But anyway, at least we get to read it now, so it's pretty cool. And we get a Bill and Ted advert on the back, which is quite nice as well. So even I love the idea they even keep the original adverts. I think that's fantastic. So yeah, so this is good stuff. As I've said before, Swamp Thing, original Swamp Thing, very, very cool. I don't know if there's a Swamp Thing series coming out. I know there's a Doom Patrol series coming out in DC All In. I heard a rumour there's a Swamp Thing one, but I don't know if that's true or not. Or maybe I'm thinking Absolute Swamp Thing. I'm not too sure. There's something going on. So at the moment, this is your only way of getting decent Swamp Thing. So there you go. Anyway, that's enough rambling for now. So thanks for listening, and hopefully I will see you on another video very, very soon. Bye bye.